So you go online and you find yourself an '05 to 2012 Ford Dana 60. You got a pretty cool project you want to put it in. What all do you got to do? Make sure that this thing is good to go. Well, we're about to rip into this thing and I'll kind of show you a couple things to keep an eye out for. Stay tuned. Alright, I already took this thing apart and looked inside, but I would think that the first step you should do is take a look and see if your gears are good, if you plan on keeping them. If you're planning on re-gearing, then whatever, right? But there's a little telltale sign that we got a little bit of water going in there. I should have plugged that off, but wrecking yard didn't. So how do people do this one-handed? It's not even possible. Okay, so like I said, I already pulled this apart, hosed it down with brake clean. Ring gear looks real good. Pinion looks real good. I didn't see any big chunks in it. I was real surprised. I was expecting to see a whole lot of rust in here with that breather being left open like that, but no, it was good. And the truck that this is going in happens to have 373s. 4111, we got 373s in this thing. This is great. The only little bit of rust I found was right there. Nothing to be afraid of. It'll be fine. Might hit that with a brush and some brake clean. We'll call it good. Alright. I already got this side apart. I'm trying to figure out what exactly happened to this thing. It's kind of the joy of finding a junkyard axle like this. Only paid $600, right? Not bad. I'm also learning that the rust belt, that's a real thing. So this axle came out of Iowa. I'm going to take a wild guess and say that they probably use salt on the roads out there. The other thing that I had seen on this axle when I had bought it was the track bar was bent. It had a huge whoop in it. So I don't see anything wrong with the axle. Looks real straight. Even that joint still fairly tight. So I think it may have been when they were pulling the axle out of the truck, or it's most likely in a wreck. So in that recovery, they could have bent that track bar, but was a little worried. I don't think we got a problem here. So we're going to continue pulling this thing apart, strip all this down, definitely cleaning the axle. We're going to put new U-joints in it. This guy's a little, it's trashed. New ball joints, new everything. I mean, you should be doing that anyways whenever you get a junkyard axle and you plan on putting it in something. You know, the other thing to keep in mind is your brakes. Look online, price everything out. I actually found out that the power stop kit with calipers is actually the cheapest way to go. So we're going to try those out too. It also looks like whenever they decided to pull this axle out, all they did was cut the brake lines. So that's the reason why I'm planning on changing the calipers. We don't know if there's water in there, so I'm planning on putting this on a big truck, and so I definitely want to play it safe. Which brings us to, what are we putting this in? I have a 2008 Chevy Silverado. Ignore the mess. It's been a whole bunch of unboxing stuff. So 2008 Duramax 2500, and we're going to put the WFO straight axle kit in it. I have been procrastinating doing this since I bought the truck, probably 7 or 8 years ago. It's time. We're getting bigger brakes, stronger axle. I'm only doing the 3-inch kit, so we got some 8-inch coilovers. I think it ought to be pretty sweet. Even though it's only 8-inch travel, these Duramaxes don't have very much travel from the factory at all. So, let's keep going. We're going to pull that side apart next. See if we can get some U-joints changed out real quick here. Okay, let's get this thing apart. Pretty stubborn. So, one thing I am not buying new is wheel bearings. Mainly because get a good set. Oh, you're in it probably $700-800 or so. I really don't want to have to pay that if I don't have to. Both wheel bearings feel like they're in great shape, so lucked out there. We are going to end up pulling these apart. Pulling the studs out of them anyways. I have a template here. So we'll pull some of the studs out. We're going to re-drill these to the 8 on 6.5. This is a pretty sweet template, and I wish I remembered where I got it from. Someplace online. This thing's sweet. It's like billet aluminum with steel inserts here. Really nice template. So we're going to take a handle of that. And let's get this axle shaft out. These things are a pain in the butt. We got terrible lighting in here, but this seal really holds on to the axle shaft in here. It's in between the axle shaft and the hub. And what it's all about is get that vacuum tube there on top of your knuckle. That's what runs your automatic hubs. So, anyways, probably never gonna hook that back up. But anyways, we gotta fight it. We gotta get it out of there. So, best method I've come up with is to grab a pry bar and just go crazy. So, let's get her done here. I'll stick my pry bar in there in the C. Grab a hold of the back side of that axle shaft there. Now, let me grab my sweet camera stand. Let's see if we can get this out. Okay, there it is. Oh, that's greasy. Let me grab a rag. We don't want to get our hands dirty now. There. You can see that big seal in there. So This U-joint is really trashed. I'm glad we're changing that out. The other little stub shaft over there, it's in pretty rough shape too. It's not sloppy, but you can't. It's the same deal where that should be bent down like that. So anyways, this is locked up. So is that guy over there. So let's get these pulled out and let's try to do some U-joints tonight. It is getting late. I'm pretty sure my neighbors are probably getting pissed. But, yeah, whatever. Here we go. Let's get this outer seal off. Let me sit crisscross applesauce and beat that thing off. Okay. Probably going to need to replace that now. Okay. Now, what else have we got in here? We got some C-clips on this backside here. And they don't look fun with all that rust around them. Oh boy. I don't really want to hit the backside of my screwdriver with a hammer. Can I do this? Nope. That's not going to work. Let's do this. I don't like that. I would like to get a set of punches for this. I'm too lazy to go outside. That's not going to work either. I'm fumbling this. Let me go grab a set of punches and we'll get back at it. Come on. There it is. Okay. There's one. 3 more to go. Come on. There it is. Two. Three. All right. Last one right here. Ooh. Okay. It's not moving. Sure don't seem like it. It just needed a little helping hand. Or does it need more than that? Good grief. Hey, a little more. Okay. Look at that. Okay, now we're winning here. She's just rusty. Come on, get out of there. It's not your home anymore. Oh yeah. Oh boy, look at that. She would have made it at least one more oil change like that. Let's just be safe and change it. You know, can I do it like this? No? Well, let's just push it through the other way. Hey, it's doing its job now. Look at that. Oh, we got it. Okay, one side's done. You know, I'm not really looking forward to doing this other side, because if it's anything like the last, it's going to be a joy. Look at that. Is it ready to go already? I think those were individual needle bearings at one time. Now it's just one big one. I wish it would just like fall out, but it's not going to. So shove it through the other way. Sound like a bad trip after Taco Bell. There we go. I might be hitting that plate. And I think it was. Oh, she's stuck. See me going for the hammer, and it got scared. Oh, come on. Oh. You know, I'm going to do a little public service announcement real quick. If your U-joint happens to have a grease zerk on it, whether it's the strongest or the weakest U-joint, if it has a zerk on it, pump it with some grease every once in a while. she is stuck in. Like it's pulling the cap back through. Holy cow. Ooh. Oh, come on. Come on, little fella. Yeah, you know, U-joint shouldn't be dusty. Okay. What was that? Why did my phone just go off? Huh, new tender like. Thanks, but no thanks. Back to work. Okay, so now that we got this thing out, got new U-joints to push in it, we're going to clean these up. I want this thing to look good. Right now, it's definitely not that. So, let's get to cleaning. Alright, so it's a new day. It's actually the following weekend. I ended up getting the axle shaft put back together and cleaned up. Where did I hide that thing? Got an issue with the small garage. Anyway, it's hidden around here. We'll find that in a little bit. But we're going to pull the Gladiator out, get some room, get back to work on this project. I'm going to fire up the welder today. It's a complete disaster in here. Little bit of a backstory. I'm actually from Salem, Oregon, and right now I'm down in Texas for a job, and so I'm renting this place, and I haven't been here very long, so it's been a little bit of a process. So planning on firing up our welder today, and I don't have any 220 plugs around here except for the dryer. So we're going to run to the hardware store and we're going to grab a whip for that and a 220 plug-in, so that way we can get that going, running proper. I'm not going to run it on 120 volt, but yeah, let's get to it. All right, we're all loaded up. Got Ella with us today. Is that how you feel? Well, she's enthusiastic today. Let's go get some parts. Dryer to welder adapter put together. Let's get the welder put together now. Okay. Got these parts all cleaned up and ready to go. All the rust is all wire wheeled off, so you can get it looking good again. So let's get this U-joint cleaned up. Some new Spicer U-joints here, so should last pretty good, especially what I'm going to do with it. Worst thing is when one of these little needle bearings falls in the bottom. Get it all together and you're starting to press it in, and all of a sudden you have a little bit of gap and can't get your clips in. It's because one of those needle bearings fell apart. exactly like the way I'd want to put these together, but should work. This type of U-joint with these internal rings here, make sure that these are lined up to where it's going to fall into this spot here, because if it's up here you'll never get them all to fit. So it's all good. We got clearance here, clearance on this side. Let's get this thing in. Looks like that might be pretty close. Let's see if it'll go in. Might have to whack the ears a little more, get a little more clearance. Okay, that's falling into place. So looks like the ears collapsed a bit. Looks like the seat clips in all the way now. Let's give her a little tap. Make sure that's in all the way. Okay. Let's get this clip in. This side's going to be close too. Yeah, I don't like that already. Okay. This guy's got to move some more. Well, that's what I got going on. I'm smacking the cap on the ground. There we go. Okay. Let's change this hammer. Alright. That feels pretty good. I'm happy with that. Wipe it down with some grease and wax remover and get it ready for paint. Okay. Alright, we've got the welder hooked up. Power seems to be powering. So it's been a couple months since I ran this welder. Got some old crusty wire in it. Let's see what it'll do. These brackets are really nice when you get them from WFO. But they don't weld, they only weld one side. And me being the way I am, I'll go for overkill and weld both sides. So let's give her a try. and ran out of memory. So I had to upload everything on the computer and I didn't have a spare memory card. So while that was going down, I decided to keep working out here, and we made a little bit of progress. So anyways, we got the knuckles all cleaned up. You can't see that very well, but got the knuckles cleaned. They're so rusty. They're all wire wheeled and painted up. We got the axles, the axle shafts all good to go. New U-joints in it, painted with gray steel it. And then we got the shock tower there. We got another one here. Lay this down. So we got it all welded up in there. It should be nice and strong. Put that back. And also got the shock mounts welded up on the axles. Good grief. It's getting late, getting tired. Same thing, ended up welding the insides. And also ended up spraying down some of that gray steel in between the two surfaces there. So hopefully no rust pops up. This whole thing looks like it came off the Titanic, so it's kind of been a bear to get cleaned up. So trying to play it safe. But anyways, we got a couple things left to get painted. This guy here, I thought I'd be cool and not use the wax and grease remover, and ended up getting some fisheyes. So looks like I'll be sanding that down and getting that cleaned and fixed. Got the other upper radius arm over there. It's drying. It looks great. So anyways, I feel like I got a lot going on in this video, so I think we're going to end it here, and then guess we'll get to making a new one. So we'll continue on with cleaning that, getting those guys painted, and hopefully get one step closer to putting this underneath the front of that Chevy. So anyways, stay tuned. Thank you.